Thank you for taking the time to learn more about TAMKO products. This 5-part video will walk you through the proper steps to install TAMKO Heritage Laminated Asphalt Shingles. Be sure to follow all safety and local code requirements. Roof deck preparation. Once pre-construction considerations are satisfied and you're on your roof, the first order of business is to inspect the roof deck. For new construction, the roof deck needs to be smooth, dry, and free of debris and properly installed per the manufacturer's instructions. When replacing an existing roof, it's especially important to inspect the existing roof deck to determine if it's damaged. Look for rotten or cracked boards or loose nails. Check the thickness of the existing roof deck to see if it meets the qualifications for the shingles you are installing. It may need to be repaired or replaced. It is also a good idea to check the attic for signs of leakage, condensation, or poor ventilation. After inspection, you may install your roof deck. Acceptable types of decking are plywood, OSB, or tongue and groove sheathing board. TAMKO shingles are designed for applications to decks made only out of these materials. Now your roof deck is ready for part 2, underlayments, the next step in the installation process. Proper application of roofing underlayments. Underlayments create an additional moisture barrier and help prevent water damage. TAMKO recommends metal drip edges be installed at the eave edge prior to installing the ice and rain underlayments or starter shingles. On eaves and in valleys where ice and rain can build up, TAMKO recommends installing an ice and rain underlayment. TAMKO Moisture Guard is a self-adhering asphalt underlayment that helps keep a tough barrier and prevents possible ice and water damage. Moisture Guard should be applied in fair weather above 40 degrees Fahrenheit. When installing this underlayment in a valley, make sure that it's a minimum 36 inches wide. If using nails, nail along the outer edges of the material. Make sure that there are no nails driven within 6 inches of either side of the valley. The first course of underlayment should be above your last course of ice and rain underlayment and have a 4-inch overlap. In this installation, TAMKO's Synthetic Guard Plus synthetic underlayment is being used. Fasten the underlayment and roll out the product nailing as you go. Fasteners should be placed in all marked locations but no farther than 12 inches from the end laps in the field of the roof. End seams should have a minimum 6-inch overlap and be staggered. Make sure to keep the product free of wrinkles. Be sure the underlayment is extended over the valley moisture guard by at least 6 inches. Each roll should overlap the previous course by a minimum of 4 inches. Or use the marks in the underlayment to determine proper placement. After installing your underlayment, finish deck preparation by applying your drip edge along the rake edges and over the underlayment. Shingle starters. Shingle starters are an important installation step. TAMKO pre-cut starter shingles are designed to provide a more precise start for shingle installation and alignment, help waterproof the even rake edges, and prevent blow-off. When installing TAMKO shingle starter, it is recommended roofing nails be minimum 12 gauge with 3/8-inch diameter heads. They should be long enough to penetrate 3/4 of an inch into the roof deck with the nail head flush with the shingle surface. While TAMKO recommends using shingle starters, 3-tab shingles may be used as a starter. Just remove the exposed tab portion and install with the adhesive strip adjacent to the eaves. Attach the starter strip in a line parallel to and 1.5 inches to 3 inches above the eaves edge. When installing along the rake edge, allow 3/8 to 3/4 inch overhang. Where metal flashing is used, install the starter shingles even with the drip edge, allowing no more than 3/4 inch of an overhang. Minimizing overhang helps improve the wind resistance of your system. TAMKO Heritage Laminated Asphalt Shingle Installation. When installing TAMKO shingles, TAMKO recommends roofing nails be a minimum 12 gauge with a 3/8-inch diameter head. They should be long enough to penetrate 3/4 of an inch into the roof deck with the nail head flush to the shingle surface. Nail patterns and code requirements vary from region to region. Before starting to apply shingles, be sure to verify the nailing patterns. Nails should be placed in a line 6 1/8 inches from the bottom edge of the shingle. Make sure they enter through the common bond and do not nail above the paint line. For the standard shingle nailing pattern, use one nail 1 inch from each end of the shingle and one nail 13.5 inches from each end of the shingle for a total of 4 nails. Nails should be driven flush to the shingle. Now that we have covered nail patterns and fastening, let's get started installing shingles. TAMKO's Heritage Shingle application features a 2 cuts, 5 courses, no waste process that can save time and reduce waste. The first step of the process is to apply a full shingle directly over the starter course using TAMKO's approved fastening pattern. From a full shingle, cut a 29-inch section for your second course. Hang on to that 10 3/8-inch piece. It will be used to start the 5th course. For the 3rd and 4th course, take a full shingle and cut a 23-inch section which starts your 3rd course. And the remaining 16 3/8-inch section starts your 4th course. To start the 5th course, use the 10 3/8-inch piece that you cut earlier. After starting each course with the 2 cuts, 5 courses pattern, continue installing full-size shingles across the roof deck. When you make your final cut at the roof's edge, flip any pieces that are 8 inches or longer back onto the roof. These pieces can be worked in anywhere without creating zippers or color variations. Joints should be no closer than 4 inches from one another. Your Heritage shingles are now beautifully installed. Installing Heritage shingles in a closed valley. The underlayments and starter shingles have been installed, and we've started the 2 cuts, 5 courses shingle installation process. If you have questions on these steps, please see the previous videos in this series. Start by applying the first course of shingles along the eave of the intersecting portion of the roof. This shingle should extend over the valley and into the adjoining roof plane. This course will be the only interlocking course along the valley. The first course laces shingles across the valley from the main roof plane, so when starting the second, continue to use the 2 cuts, 5 courses method as long as each shingle extends at least 12 inches onto the adjoining roof. As you install, press shingles tightly into the valley. It helps if the shingles are warm when you do this, so that they are more pliable. Use the standard fastening pattern while installing the shingles across the valley. When crossing the valley, 2 nails should be placed at the end of each shingle. Be sure not to place any nails within 6 inches of either side of the valley. Now that you've applied the shingles across the valley, apply a row vertically facing the valley. These shingles should be placed 2 inches offset from the valley's center line. Snap a chalk line to help guide your shingles. Apply the first vertical shingle starting on the 2nd course and work up the valley. To complete your valley installation, position the bottom corner of each row at the chalk line covering the vertical shingle. You can do this while still utilizing TAMKO's 2 cuts, 5 courses method, allowing you to install the valley quickly and efficiently. The TAMKO closed, no-cut valley installation method may be used when installing Heritage, Heritage Premium, and Heritage Woodgate shingles. Once your shingles are installed, finish the roof by applying continuous ridge ventilation and hip and ridge shingles. The installation of the hip and ridge shingles over the ventilation gives a clean, attractive looking roof. Thanks for watching. For more TAMKO installation videos, visit tamko.com.